Well, good morning. Hey, this should start your day right.
That's a bad attitude.
Fuck the patriarchy. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Mike Pence. Fuck white supremacy. Fuck racism. Fuck misogyny. Fuck homophobia. Fuck transphobia. Fuck capitalism. Fuck classism. Fuck transphobia. Fuck ableism. Fuck Islamophobia. Fuck anti-Semitism. Fuck every kind of bigotry out there. I'm here in front of the White House. I am not here for polite protest because patriarchy is not polite. I am not here for quiet protest because patriarchy is not quiet. Fuck the patriarchy here in Washington, D.C. Fuck the patriarchy in Cairo, Egypt, where I'm from. Fuck the patriarchy across the world. Fuck the patriarchy in every time zone. And fuck the patriarchy in every universe.
That's a bad attitude.
Fuck the patriarchy.
She seems nice. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. Well, good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night, on January 29, 2020, a lovely Wednesday morning. I just thought I'd bring that one back for, I don't know, just because it happened and she's such a lovely lady. I don't know. That kind of brings me back to what were those wrecked feminist videos from the 2015, 2016? Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. Fuck hate except for everyone that she hates. So anyway, before we get started, but let me thank a couple people real quick. Thank you, Chi-Town J, Tyler F, Necrosaw Collins, who have already tweeted out the show this morning. Make sure you share the video, share the show whenever you're watching. If you're watching a replay, share the video. If you're watching the show live, go ahead and hit that share button down below. Or you can retweet the tweet on Twitter that I did. If you follow me on Twitter, which is at PDawgNight. In fact, I will put it in the chat like I usually do. In fact, poof, click, boop. There you go. So there you go. Today I was, I was going to do another day of other news, but I think it's also important to get caught up a little bit on the impeachment stuff. So I got a little of that. I got a little other news, not a whole lot of different stuff, but, because it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to get away from it. But there's that. I had a couple little things beforehand that I wanted to show you, and that was one of them. That I don't know her name. I'm pretty sure she's from Australia. Somebody knows her name. By the way, the Twitter link's in the chat. Also, if you want to do super chats, also known as voluntary reparations, you can do that at the PDawgNight.live link. That is also in the chat. And also, by the way, I did want to say good morning to everybody before I got completely started. Richo from Down Under was first today, gets the bell. And also probably knows who that crazy red-haired woman is. She's actually, I know that she's actually Egyptian, but she lives in Australia, but then she's in the United States, the White House. She just kind of came on the scene recently. I'd never seen her before. Everyone used to make fun of, what's her name? Big Red, the Canadian bright red-haired lady. But anyway, maybe Rich can tell us who she is, because I know she's from your neck of the woods, so, or, well, your neck of the world, not necessarily your part of Australia. But anyway, so good morning, Richo, who got the first. Good morning, Advocatus, Diaboli, Chi-Town J, Shiagrath, Tyler F, Necrosaw, Colin, Chicago, Mike, Cynical Lindsay, RVA, Mitch the Ripper, Midnight in Exile, MC, Hammer Time. Also, I love Riku. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. You must have enjoyed it yesterday because you're back already. Fantastic. Good morning, Mitch. I said Mitch the Ripper. Did I say Mitch the Ripper? I did say Mitch the Ripper. And let's see. Dumb Beard, Jaeger Pony, Duck Dog, Attack Alpaca. Man, the gang is all here. Renovatio. Wait, that looks like my avatar. I thought that was my dog on there. Anyway, Ryan himself. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. All right, so that's everyone who's in the chat so far. Boy, we got in here quick today. That's awesome. So let's get caught up a little bit. Monica Eltahawy, and she's alive, sadly. Well, no, I know she's alive. Chanty Binks. Yeah, Chanty Binks is the one from Canada. And, hey, Smarty Bear, I see you popped in too. Necrosaw Collins. Okay, good. You're back. Let's see. So, Mona Eltahawy. Yeah, she's the Australian. That's the lady in that video. And then Chanty Binks is the redhead from Canada. Yeah, the Canadian. Okay, so, yeah, no, I knew that. So, let's get caught up. Oh, by the way, I do have my reparations coffee. But feel free to hit the reparations jar. Hey, Irish Rose too. Hello, good morning. Oh shit, what up, Dumb Beard? Dumb Beard hasn't been here in a while either. If you have, you've been lurking, but that's okay. Let's get caught up on. I got a lot to do today. I got a whole bunch of articles I want to get through, and I still want to get through Twitter trends like on my daily thing. So, Let's get it started right off the bat. First of all, the Trump defense team wrapped up their opening arguments yesterday. Now, it was a bit of a surprise to me because they were, the way the schedule goes, they had all, the pretty much the entire day to talk, and they wrapped it up about, I would say, 2:00 Eastern time, and everyone thought they were going to go well into the evening, well into the prime time, and they wrapped up their side of the case really early. And so the first thought was either they knew they had votes to not do witnesses and other evidence, so it was just confusing to people that they got done so quickly. But anyway, President Donald Trump's defense team wrapped up their opening arguments in his impeachment trial in the front of the Senate. White House counsel Pat Cipollone and Trump's personal lawyer Jay Sekulow will speak today. Each speech should last only 45 minutes. Now, okay, this is okay. Oh, I see. This was written yesterday. They really had short speeches. So this is just the recap from yesterday. This means the day will end pretty quickly. Actually, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said today could last for several hours, but it didn't. It did wrap up rather quickly. Roberts told Trump's defense team, let's see. Chief Roberts, John Roberts, told Trump's defense team still had a little over 15 hours to present their opening arguments. Chatter on the Hill this morning centered around Bolton's revelations in a manuscript of his upcoming book. Senator James Lankford, Republican Oklahoma, suggested senators read the manuscript in a classified setting. Of course, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer laughed off that idea. He just wants Bolton to testify. Senator Lindsey Graham snapped back, reminding the Democrats of the witnesses the Republicans will call if the Senate passes a motion. Lawyer Jay Sekulow said that the allegations in Bolton books are inadmissible. You know what? Who cares? I don't care about Bolton's book. And for one reason in particular, they leaked one passage. And I'm telling you, this word is going to be key, okay? Because in that passage, it didn't say anything about conditions for the aid. It said that the president preferred to hear about an investigation before the funds were delivered. Now, preferred is an interesting word that John Bolton uses. And John Bolton, who's been in politics for, very long time as far as advising different governments and things, I think perhaps that word preferred is used for a very specific reason. Because preferred doesn't mean anything. Preferred doesn't say demand. Preferred doesn't mean conditioned. Preferred doesn't mean that it is a requirement. Preferred is the president's state of mind. Okay? That's it. And that's John Bolton speculating on the president's state of mind. Now, perhaps there are other words in the book that says that, if there were words in the book that said it was a requirement, that's what would have been leaked. But that's one sentence that the president preferred. Well, preferred is not a legal standard. Preferred is not a requirement in any stretch of the imagination. So anyway, lawyer Jay Sekulow said the allegations in Bolton books are inadmissible. He says, quote, "I want to be clear on this because there's a lot of speculation out there that with regard to what John Bolton has said," Mr. Sekulow said, he repeated President Trump's denial that he never told Mr. Bolton that the aid to Ukraine was tied to investigations into Democrats, including former Vice President Joe Biden and his son, Hunter. In fact, he never complained about this at the time of his very public termination, Mr. Sekulow said. If John Bolton said this, it was all to sell a book, responding to an unpublished manuscript that maybe some reporters have an idea of maybe what it says. I don't know what you call that. I'd call it inadmissible. That's what it is, Mr. Sekulow said. Impeachment, he added, is not a game of leaks and unsourced manuscripts. That's politics, unfortunately. Mr. Sekulow argued that the impeachment was only the latest effort to take down the president, citing the Federal Bureau of Investigation's probe into his campaign ties with Russia and former special counsel Robert Mueller's ensuing 2-year probe. Put yourself in the shoes of not just this president, of any president that have been under this type of attack, Mr. Sekulow said. You can't view this case in a vacuum. Well, yeah, this is politics, though, so it could continue anyway. All right, so that's, and they did a clip here. I'm not going to watch the video of that. The day did not last very long, even though McConnell said it would. The White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, admitted he had kind of a lengthy presentation prepared, but decided to settle on a few points. And how long was his? Let's see how long this is. Nah, I'm not going to go 7 minutes on that either. But he reminded the Senate that in 2020 is an election year. It is an election year. Oh, they're trying to take Trump off the ballot. That's what they're trying to do. Anyway, why not trust the American people with this decision? Why tear up their ballots? Why tear up every ballot across the country? You can't do that. You can't do that. So I ask you to defend our Constitution, to defend our fundamental fairness, to defend basic due process rights, but more importantly, and most importantly, to respect and defend the sacred right of every American to vote and choose their president. The election is only months away. And let's see, Alan Dershowitz. I didn't see Alan Dershowitz yesterday. What's his keynote? Here, nothing in the Bolton revelations, even if true, would rise to the level of abuse of power or an impeachable offense. That is clear from the history. That's clear from the language of the Constitution. So that's that's his opinion. And let's see. Senator Angus King from Maine believes Bolton revelations have propelled the vote for witnesses to over 51. Now, that's the thing we're going to get to. I'm going to move on from there. But before I do, the next part here, Trump's defense team concludes with 1998 Democrats warning against partisan impeachment. This was this was kind of a brilliant way to close. And I'm just going to show it to you rather than read this article. Here's the closing argument from is that Pat Cipollone, I think, did this one? Let's see. Yeah, it was White House counsel Pat Cipollone. Here is Pat Cipollone's closing argument. By the way, if you don't recognize Gerald Nadler here, this was him in 1998. He's lost a considerable amount of weight. I think he had one of those bypass surgeries and whatnot. I mean, he's still big, fairly big, but nothing like he used to be. Anyway, moving on. No sound. Oh, here.
That express the will of the American.
There must never be a narrowly voted impeachment or an impeachment supported by one of our major political parties and opposed by the other. Such an impeachment will produce the divisiveness and bitterness in our politics for years to come and will call into question the very legitimacy of our political institutions.
This is unfair to the American people. By these actions, you would undo the free election that expressed the will of the American people in 1996. In so doing, you will damage the faith the American people have in this institution and in the American democracy. You will set the dangerous precedent that the certainty of presidential terms, which has so benefited our...
Okay, at this point, let me see if there's still no sound, because it's showing that I'm giving sound on here.
Wonderful America will be replaced by the partisan use of impeachment. Future presidents will face election, then litigation, then impeachment. The power of the president...
Now, what's beautiful about this is most people in this clip are House managers, except for Robert Menendez, who was indicted, and then the last one will be Chuck Schumer. Anyway,
will diminish in the face of the Congress, a phenomenon much feared by the founding fathers.
This is a constitutional amendment that we are debating, not an impeachment resolution. The Republicans are crossing out the impeachment standard of high crimes and misdemeanors, and they are inserting the words any crime or misdemeanor. We are permitting a constitutional coup d'etat, which will haunt this body and our country forever. I warn my colleagues that you will...
I love that they put Menendez in here. Oh, Menendez is a scumbag. Anyway.
Reap the bitter harvest of the unfair partisan seeds you sowed today. The constitutional provision for impeachment is a way to protect our government and our citizens, not another weapon in the political arsenal.
I expect history will show that we've lowered the bar on impeachment so much. We have broken the seal on this extreme penalty so cavalierly that it will be used as a routine tool to fight political battles. My fear is that when a Republican wins the White House, Democrats will demand payback.
Now, what's hilarious about that is when after he played that clip, Chip Alone's next sentence was, "They were right." And the gallery of senators just basically started laughing. You could hear them laughing. It was so funny. This powerful message bolstered by the president's case, showing the threat of partisan impeachment in Democrats' own words. Nadler declared that there must never be a partisan impeachment. Anyway, wait. And then he agreed to be a manager for. And then he agreed to be a manager for one. Lofgren condemned Republicans for overturning an election, then helped the effort to overturn one herself. Yeah, the first three are all currently House impeachment managers. And then this article just continues. This montage should terrify Markey, Menendez, and Schumer. How can they vote to convict President Donald Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors when this partisan impeachment is the very thing they themselves condemned 20 years ago? Because they're smarmy pricks. That's why. God, that's a dumb question. Oh, good morning, Ryan himself. I didn't see you pop in there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Because Schumer's a smarmy prick who only cares about politics. Come on. A lot. And you know what? Granted, a lot of the senators on, I hate to use the word on both sides, but on both sides only care about politics. Sorry. That's just kind of how the system works. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, that was his closing argument, which had to have all of them just boiling. It had to be. Anyway, next thing here. Now Dianne Feinstein made some news, but now she's had to backpedal because she says, I was misunderstood over Trump acquittal comments. On Tuesday, the LA Times circulated a story regarding Senator Dianne Feinstein leaning towards acquitting President Donald Trump, who was now this is what is this? Okay, this is the Daily Wire. You need editors. Who was impeachment in the House last month? Excuse me. I think they meant impeached in the House last month. Just after President Trump's defense lawyers ended arguments in their Senate trial Tuesday, Senator Dianne Feinstein of California became the first Democrat to suggest that she could vote to acquit him, despite serious concerns about his character, the LA Times report stated. 9 months left to go. The people should judge. I think the emphasis on that, the emphasis in that sentence should be the people should judge. We are a republic. We are based on the will of the people. The people should judge. Feinstein was quoted telling reporters on Tuesday, the paper reported. Okay, let me get the sentence into sentence form. That was my view, and it is still my view. So, what changed my opinion as this went on is a realization that impeachment isn't one about offense. It's really about the character and ability and physical and mental fitness of the individual to serve the people, not themselves, she added. We are not finished, the Democrat told reporters when asked if she acquit President Trump. Okay, so that gave them the hint that she could possibly actually listen to evidence and possibly acquit if the evidence is whatever. She said there's substantial weight to this, and the question is it enough to cast this vote, Feinstein said of impeachment, adding that she's received roughly 125,000 letters in support of impeachment last week and about 30,000 letters against it, the LA Times noted. After the report broke and began trending on Twitter, Feinstein took to Twitter to clarify her remarks, backing off any possibility of Trump's acquittal. Oh, wait a minute. You haven't heard of the evidence. So how could any possibility of Trump's acquittal be dismissed? Weren't they complaining about Mitch McConnell being, ready to throw this out before it was done? Anyway, she quoted, "The LA Times misunderstood what I said today. Before the trial, I said I'd keep an open mind. Now that both sides made their cases, it's clear the president's actions were wrong. He withheld vital foreign assistance for personal political gain. That can't be allowed to stand." Give me a freaking break. He withheld vital foreign assistance. No, he didn't. Because the vital so-called foreign assistance wasn't due to be sent yet. It was for future vital foreign assistance. The vital foreign assistance that half the House managers voted against. If it was so vital, should they be in the gulag for voting against it? Give me a fucking break. Anyway, in December, the House voted to impeach President Trump on fuck it, I'm not reading the rest of this. We already know that's just stupid background shit. All right. I don't know why I left it there. Moving on. Now, apparently, McConnell says he doesn't have the votes to block impeachment witnesses. Wall Street Journal is reporting that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had told GOP leaders in a private meeting that he doesn't currently have enough votes to block impeachment witnesses. I don't care. Bring on the witnesses. You know what? If they're going to force this into witnesses, make this motherfucker a big ass circus. Let's get them all in there. And you know what? The House managers do not get to decide who gets to be a witness because they don't control the show here. Okay? If anyone thinks there's whatever witnesses they think are relevant should be able to be added. I'm just saying. The Wall Street, okay, I'll read it again. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has told GOP leaders in a private meeting that he doesn't currently have enough votes to block impeachment witnesses. Let's see. Is this McConnell's quote or what is this? Oh, this is the Wall Street Journal report. I'm still going to do it in McConnell's voice. Hello, rhetorical entertainment. The Republican leader said that they don't currently have enough votes to block witnesses in President Trump's Senate impeachment trial after his legal team concluded its efforts to counter Democrats' charges that the president abused power and obstructed Congress. On the third and final day of presentations by the Trump legal team, lawyers decided to cast doubts on the importance and credibility of allegations by former National Security Advisor John Bolton about the president's motives for freezing aid to Ukraine. But at that meeting, all of Republican senators late Tuesday, GOP leaders told their conference that they don't currently have enough votes to prevent witnesses from being called. Perhaps familiar with the matter, people familiar with the matter said Republicans had hoped to wrap up the trial with an acquittal of the president by this week. But Democrats have said that he should appear under oath to offer a first-hand account of the president's motivations for freezing aid to Ukraine, a matter at the heart of the impeachment case. Okay. So a whip count on the issue of witnesses has been taken, and McConnell said the vote total wasn't where it needed to be. A source close to McConnell confirmed the story by Fox News. So anyway, they don't have the votes to block witnesses. You know what? Whatever. I'm over it, and I don't care. I wouldn't mind hearing what John Bolton has to say. I think this is a bonehead mistake in that the House managers are now, you're just making it easier to impeach any president now because, they, because now, you know what, they can vote to impeach. They can just dig and dig and dig. Basically what they're doing is they're making this, what was the, what's his name? This the Supreme Court case. The guy that Kavanaugh. This is going to be like a Brett Kavanaugh bullshit. Now they can just drip out shit, and they can put out some fake report and then recall another witness and pull out some other accusations and call another witness. It's got to be within the 2 articles that you sent, and before you impeach a president, you need to have all your evidence and witnesses already interviewed. Now, it's not, the Senate shouldn't have to do this. The Senate, they keep comparing it to a regular court case. Well, I've never seen a court case ever where the jury is asked to bring in witnesses. The jury is asked to subpoena the witnesses. No, you were supposed to do that before you came to trial. And any judge would throw that bullshit out. Anyway, moving on. Before I do that, good morning, Mike Savage. Good morning, Jeremy Johnson, who joined the chat. I am sad. I am glad. I'm never sad. I know nothing about Hillary Clinton. I am never going to be sad. I am glad to see you guys here. Welcome to the show. By the way, share, like, super chats through Streamlabs in the link down below or in the chat. It's right there. This says right there, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations, or what I like to call voluntary reparations, and have your super chats read live on the show. Click here, pdawgnight.live. There you go. All right, and finally, Now, apparently, this Richard Blumenthal is a senator from Connecticut, I think. Is he from Connecticut? Yeah, he is. He apparently, in a kind of offhanded way, accidentally admitted the House impeachment case is evidence 3. And you kind of got to listen to it carefully. Okay? You kind of got to listen to it carefully. Oh, you're waiting for Hillary to join the race? Boy, something she said was it yesterday or the day before yesterday, where she said something about wanting to go against Trump again. I there's that tiny little bit of me that says she might still find a way to get into the race. I don't know. Anyway, let's finish this. Connecticut Senator. There was an unintended moment of levity during the break of the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump on Tuesday. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, one of the designated spin doctors, he's a smarmy prick too, was sent to the microphones to clean up any damage to the Democrats' message caused by President Trump's impeachment attorneys. And he dropped an unintentional truth bomb during a media interview. C-SPAN broke away from the proceedings in time to hear Blumenthal say this about Trump's defense lawyers. And I quote, "It was a fact-free summation of a case bereft of evidence. We need the evidence. We need witnesses and documents. They may have the votes at this moment, but I hope my colleagues will look themselves in the mirror. What we want is the truth, not some quid pro quo on the witnesses," whatever that's supposed to mean. Wait, did he just say it was a fact-free summation of a case bereft of evidence? You mean there's no evidence? Well, duh. Because the House managers, the House, basically came up with some articles of impeachment that they don't have evidence for, other than hearsay and innuendo and, well, I think he meant this and that, and nothing that actually, there's no, did they have a document ever that said that the aid was contingent on anything? Did the Ukrainians feel like they had to do something to get their aid? Because both the presidents said that, the former president, the new president, Zelensky, said that wasn't the case. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if there's any evidence. Here's Ding Dong.
Do I think Republicans have the votes to stop calling witnesses?
Right.
Based on this summation, a fact-free summation filled with innuendo and insinuation, there's no way that the president can continue blocking witnesses with any sort of integrity. And there's no way that my colleagues can continue to be complicit if they fail to hear evidence. What you just saw was a fact-free summation of a case bereft of evidence.
A case bereft of evidence. Yeah.
We need the evidence. We need the witnesses and documents. They may have the votes at this moment, but I hope my colleagues will look themselves in the mirror and look at how they will be viewed by history and by their constituents.
And what do you...
All right, so anyway, that's him saying there's a case with no evidence, so now we need to see some evidence. In a case where they didn't bother to wait to get the evidence or actually go through the process of deciding whether or not the witnesses should have to testify. That process that other impeachments have gone through. They could have just waited till the damn election. But you know what? I got an answer for why they didn't. And I'm going to type in the chat right now. In fact, you're going to see it before I say it. Dink. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, I don't know what the thing is. They impeached Donald Trump. Even if they could remove him, there's still Mike Pence. Do you think Mike Pence is gonna appoint someone better for you? But no, they want Trump out. They want him off the ballot so they don't have to go against him in the election, hoping that one of their candidates will beat whoever the Republicans put up. And then if that happens, then they get their own little Supreme Court. She's dead. I sometimes wonder if they're doing a weekends at Bernie's with her. I just don't know. Good morning, straight Sith male. How you doing? I just saying. I don't know if she is really alive. I know she is because there was footage of her. Unless it was really good. Like, if you know what, you know how the Japanese have become really good at making realistic looking sex dolls? Do you think they just have like a Westworld version of Ruth Bader Ginsburg doing these interviews until they can get someone who can appoint a new judge before someone figures it out? I don't know. I don't have any ill will to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but man, she's gone through so many health things. I think the only reason she's hanging on is hoping that Trump doesn't get another term so that she doesn't have to hang on for another 4 years. I think she wants to retire. I really do. I think she wants to retire, and she knows she cannot retire until either Trump is out or he's removed from office. But January 20th, 2021, she's praying that there's a new president so she can retire. Because I guarantee you, if for some reason a Democrat wins the presidency in the 2020 election, on January 21st, 2021, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to retire. Yeah, I did kind of, did I just do that? I kind of did, didn't I? I kind of implied a Ruth Bader Ginsburg sex doll. No, I kind of did, didn't I? That's not what I went. That's not where I was going with that. Hello, Mad Max. How you doing? No. That is absolutely not what I was talking about. But all right, let's go on. Hey, by the way, if you're a lurker, thank you for being here. I haven't said hi to you, but all you guys who are lurking in the background, or maybe you were listening at work or listening while you're driving, I am also glad that you're here too. I hope you're having a great day. All right, let's go. Let's change tact here. Tact? Is that change track? Whatever. Hey, just a nice little article from the Federalist. Margot Cleveland. IG report proves, and I mean proves, that the Obama administration spied on the Trump campaign bigly. Oh, she says big time. Never mind. Last week, President Trump triggered the left when he tweeted a Photoshop picture that portrayed former President Barack Obama perched midair outside Trump Tower, binoculars and listening device in hand. Oh, I did not see that one. I'm surprised. Normally, that kind of shit trends. I wonder if that was like on the weekend when I wasn't paying attention to Twitter. Anyway, the liberal outlet Vox condemned the president for his increasingly bad tweets before declaring, "There's no evidence the Obama administration spied on Trump." Really? Hi, Logan F. Good morning. Really? Vox then regurgitated with the false narrative that while the FBI did surveil former Trump foreign policy advisor Carter Page, that didn't happen until after Page left the campaign. They're such sad little people. Hey, you know what? Before I move on, I'm sorry. I got to do this real quick because I forgot about a little. I'm gonna put a little musical interlude in for this one because it's time to have some. Let's have a little tune. Let's go. We're gonna go synth pop today. I'm kind of mixing it up. If you haven't noticed, I've changed my music. Yesterday it was a little bit of R&B. Today it's going to be some synth pop, and but it's going to be really quiet in the background. I've kind of learned how to get this to the right level. I hope. You never know if I really do or not. But let me let's do a little synth pop today. It'll be lightly in the background. I hate synth pop too, but I'm going to do it anyway. Well, hate is a strong word. I don't really hate anything. If it's music, and I like it. But all right, there we go, and we'll get that going a little bit in the background there. It's kind of mellow. This first one's kind of mellow. It's dark and dreamy. It says. A lot of these are okay, whatever. Anyway, let's get a little background to it before we move on to this article. Ow, my ears! You can't hear that. It's not that loud. Is it loud? No, stop it. Anyway, for years, conservatives tried to correct the record, noting that a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act order gave the government access to pages past emails and other electronic communications with members of the Trump campaign. Yeah, just because they had the warrant on one day that was a little bit after Page left, that gave them the right to go backwards, and read all of this communications with the Trump campaign. FYI. And other electronic communications with members of the Trump campaign, but mainstream media ignored this reality. That the liberal and legacy press continue to push this narrative now following the release of the Inspector General Michael Horowitz's report on FISA abuse. Put a little click there. It's beyond baffling because the IG report established that the Obama administration spied on the Trump campaign, and the spying was much worse than previously thought. And I mean thought, not thought. The FISA warrants, of course, gave the FBI authority to spy on Page, and now that the government has finally made a mea culpa, we know that the surveillance was illegal. But contrary to the continuing narrative that spying wasn't limited to Page... contrary to the continuing narrative, that spying wasn't limited to Page. Sometimes the comma has to make sense. It included internal Trump campaign communications. The IG report acknowledged this, noting that Gabriel Sanj-Rockshow, I don't know how to say that name, and imagine that, me not knowing how to say a name, the chief of the Office of Intelligence Operations section explained that the evidence collected during the first FISA application time period demonstrated that Carter Page had access to individuals in Russia, and he was communicating with people in the Trump campaign because he was a CIA asset. Horowitz's report added that, quote, based on our review of the Woods files and communications between the FBI and the Office of Intelligence, we identified a few emails between Page and members of the Donald J. Trump president for president campaign concerning campaign-related matters. The Woods file is a record of compliance with procedures intended to ensure the accuracy with regard to the facts supporting the probable cause. So they did have access to communications with the Trump campaign. So even if it's unintended spying on the Trump campaign, silly people. Oh, you want this on the screen? Even if they did, or did just have the warrant on Page, they were obviously able to see his communications with anyone in the Trump campaign. Oh my goodness. Anyway, don't let the few emails mislead. The FISA surveillance didn't just accidentally sweep in a few random campaign communications. Rather, the few campaign communications the IG identified came from its limited review of the Woods file and select FBI communications. The IG report made this point clear in a footnote, stating it did not review the entirety of the FISA intercepted communications, only those pertinent to the IG's reviews of FISA abuse. So to make a long story short, yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They're lying, cheating bastards. The IG report also did more than confirm the Crossfire Hurricane team accessed some of Trump campaign communications and established that accessing Page's communications with the Trump campaign, was the goal of the FISA order. For instance, a case agent working for Crossfire Hurricane Investigation explained to the IG's team that because Page had just returned from his trip to Russia before the Republican National Convention, the FBI's belief was that Page was involved in the platform change concerning Ukraine, and the team was hoping to find evidence of that in their review of the FISA collections of Page's email account. So they specifically were looking for information on what the campaign was doing by spying on Carter Page. So anyway, and then, this is a long article. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it is a good article. I forgot how long it was. So I'm just going to put the rest. You can read that one. It's in the chat if you want to check that one out. It's a good article that goes through just several actual pieces of evidence showing that they were spying on the Trump campaign. So that's that. Next, what else I got here? Oh, now, let's go. Let's do a little Biden action today. Because I'm just saying, there's a whole bunch of stuff on Biden today. It's Wednesday here. Future time, it's Wednesday here. Oh, you guys are talking about what day it is. 70 porno should be mandatory on... Oh, it is hump day, isn't it? Well, okay, Richard, I got you. Anyway, all right, let's talk about the Bidens. You know, the Bidens who didn't do nothing. The didn't do nothing Bidens. Remember them? Well, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with the Bidens today, and we'll use Newsthud today. In fact, I have 3 Newsthud articles, which I'm not sure where Newsthud came from, but it seems to be a popular source with my favorite news aggregator, the Ace of Spades blog, JJ Sefton. Schweitzer, how Biden's son-in-law, Howard Crane, used Joe's connections to get ahead. See, now, there's a whole bunch of Biden relatives that use Joe Biden's name and seem to make a lot of money using Joe Biden's name and his what do you call it? What do you call it? His influence in his office, not only as a senator, but also as Vice President of the United States. Okay, according to a new report from the New York Post, according to Clinton Cash author Schweitzer's new book, I gotta go buy this book. Profiles in Corruption, Abuse of Power by America's Progressive Elite. Joe Biden's son-in-law, Stephen Crane, used Joe's powerful DC connections to get ahead with his investment consultancy, Startup Health. Stephen Crane is just one of several family members that Schweiger alleges to have gotten rich off of Joe Biden's connections. The others include son Hunter Biden and brother Frank Biden and brother James Biden and sister Valerie Biden Owens. Schweiger writes, wait, Miss Alex? Oh, Alex Jones. Okay. Oh, Alex Jones was talking about Epstein and the Bidens way before Trump came. Oh, I know he was, wasn't it? As Schweiger writes, it would be a dream for any new company to announce their launch in the Oval Office at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Startup Health is an investment consultancy based out of New York City, and in June 2011, the company barely had a website. The firm was the brainchild of 3 siblings from Philadelphia. Stephen Crane is CEO and co-founder, while his brother, Dr. Howard Crane, serves as chief medical officer, and sister Barry serves as the firm's chief strategy officer. A friend named Unity Stokes is the co-founder and serves as the president. Startup Health was barely up and running when in June 2011, 2 of the company's executives were ushered into the Oval Office of the White House. They met with President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. The following day, The new company would be featured at a large healthcare tech conference being run by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and startup health executives became regular visitors to the White House, attending events in 2011, 2014, and 2015. How did startup health gain access to the highest levels of power in Washington? There was nothing particularly unique about the company, but for this. The Chief Medical Officer of Startup Health, Howard Crean, is married to Joe Biden's youngest daughter, Ashley. I happened to be talking to my father-in-law that day, and I mentioned Steve and Unity were down there in Washington, D.C., recalled Howard Crean. He knew about Startup Health and was a big fan of it. He asked for Steve's number and said, "I have to get them up here to talk with Barack." The Secret Service came and got Steve and Unity and brought them to the Oval Office. Startup Health offers to provide new companies technical and relationship advice in exchange for a stake in the business, demonstrating and highlighting the fact that you can score a meeting with the President of the United States certainly helps to prove a strategic company asset, known as high-level contacts. Vice President Joe Biden continued to help Crean promote his company at several appearances throughout his last months in the White House, including one in January 2017, where he made a surprise showing at the Startup Health Festival in San Francisco. A corporate event open only to Startup Health members enabled the 250 people in attendance to chat in a closed session with the vice president. Isn't that special? So anyway, yeah, that's so, and then speaking of which, now I gotta tell you this though, guys. You know, when this whole Ukraine thing started blowing up, and I remember the first time I heard they started talking about the phone call, and they mentioned Joe Biden and Hunter Biden with his seemingly kind of dream job for a guy who got kicked out of the military for illegal drug use, and then gets this board of directors job. Now, granted, he was on the board of Amtrak too, which somehow Joe Biden finagled that for him. But this guy who's this kind of a, I don't want to call him a loser, but how do you get kicked out of the military for drug use, and then all of a sudden you're on the board of directors of a Ukrainian energy company that you don't speak the language and you don't even know, you probably never even been to Ukraine. But then again, your dad's the vice president and he's in charge of the administration policy on Ukraine. I don't know, I know it's just a coincidence, but I said at the time when that first started blowing up, I'm like, you know what? I don't care how you slice this, and I don't care if it causes problems for the president. It's gonna cause some trouble for the Bidens. And we've seen how Joe Biden reacts. He doesn't want to answer questions about it, and he gets mad anytime someone brings it up and starts throwing it back at Trump and talking about, I'm in this race because I get things done and my name's Joe Biden. Well, there are some cracks that are kind of beginning to happen. The press has actually started to look at this stuff, and Hunter did an interview a while back and he seemed kind of calm and collected, but now Hunter Biden's kind of getting sick of it. He's kind of getting sick of it. Hunter Biden throws a temper tantrum, lashes out at Trump and says, "Fuck you, Mr. President." I think they're beginning to crack. Hunter Biden is cracking up under the pressure and is lashing out at Trump in a new interview with the New Yorker. Hunter Biden cannot be happy that he has derailed his father's bid for the brass ring, but he shouldn't be too hard on himself. Joe Biden is not the kind of guy who can beat Trump, and that is clear from watching him bumble and stumble on the campaign trail. Quote, Let me take, excuse me. Quote, "Fuck you, Mr. President," Hunter Biden said about President Donald Trump after the Biden's corruption has taken center stage heading into the 2020 elections. Quote, "Here I am, living my life." Here's from the New Yorker. Here's a little excerpt from the New Yorker. And I'm gonna let's go. What kind of voice should I use for this? Well, let's just kind of be dramatic. A month later, on the roof deck of Cohen's apartment off the Sunset Strip, Cohen sat on a bench next to Hunter, who was wearing jeans and a t-shirt emblazoned with the slogan of "Be fucking nice." Hunter recalled that after the ceremony, "I called my dad and said that we just got married." He was on speaker and he said to her, okay, so Cohen, it must be his wife or his to-be wife, I don't know. Let me go back. "I called my dad and said, we just got married." He was on speaker and he said to her, "Thank you for giving my son the courage to live again." Hunter paused, his eyes filling with tears. And he said to me, "Honey, I knew that when you found love again, I'd get you back." That didn't make sense. Anyway, Cohen rubbed his shoulders. He went on. "And my reply was, I said, Dad, I always had love. And the only thing that allowed me to see it was the fact that you never gave up on me. You always believed in me." Hunter told me that on that recent evening, he had seen reports on Twitter that Trump was calling for him to be investigated by the Justice Department. Then Hunter noticed a helicopter overhead. I said, "I hope they're taking pictures of us right now. I hope it's a live feed to the president so he can see just how much I care about the tweets." He went on. "I told Melissa, I don't care. Fuck you, Mr. President. Here I am, loving my life, bitch." He didn't say bitch. I threw that in there. In August, Hunter rented a house in Annapolis, Maryland, where he, Hallie, and her 2 children hoped to have some privacy. But several months later, they split up. "All we got was shit from everybody all the time," Hunter said. "It was really hard, and I realized that I'm not helping anybody by sticking around." Hallie declined to comment. That would be his brother's wife. Cohen is the new wife. Early in 2018, he moved to Los Angeles. The idea, he said, was to completely disappear. Hunter said that in divorce proceedings, he offered to give Kathleen everything, including a monthly payment of $37,000 for alimony, tuition, and childcare costs for a decade. Hunter told me that he was living in approximately $4,000 a month. Oh, poor dude. He was hardly poor, but it was an adjustment. On occasion, transactions on his credit cards were declined. Wait a minute. $4,000 a month. He had $37,000 in alimony, tuition, $88,000. He should have still had about $40,000 a month, but I digress. One of Kathleen's motions contains a reference to a large diamond that had come into Hunter's possession. This motion seems to imply that it was one of Hunter's personal indulgences. When I asked him about it, he told me that he had been given the diamond by the Chinese energy tycoon Ye Jianming, who was trying to make connections in Washington among prominent Democrats and Republicans, and whom he had met in the middle of the divorce. Hunter told me that 2 associates accompanied him to his first meeting with Ye in Miami, and that they surprised him by giving Ye a magnum of rare vintage scotch worth thousands of dollars. So he came up with thousands of dollars to get the rare scotch. What the hell? Anyway, let's just say Hunter Biden's not happy with the resident. Okay. And finally, one last little Biden tidbit here. Hello, Grillin' Pirate Pete. Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm not neglecting you. I just see that you are here. Anyone else new show up? Okay, we're good. And also to all the lurkers, hi to all of you. I know I don't ever say hi to everybody because you're not always in the chat. All right. And the last one, shady Caribbean land deal with lobbyists come back to haunt James and Joe and James Biden. It's coming. I'm telling you, the scrutiny on the Bidens, I think this is... Well, the thing is, though, none of the mainstream press really seems all that interested. But boy, there's a lot of material. Holy crap. Joe and James Biden, Joe's younger brother, got caught with their hands in the cookie jar yet again over what looks to be a shady land deal that reminds one of Obama and Tony Rezko. Remember Tony Rezko? How the hell did Tony Rezko not like just get smeared all over Barack Obama? I don't know. Because, well, you know, they used to call Reagan the Teflon president. Oh my God. That tan suit that Obama wore, I swear to God, that stuff must be made of the same stuff they make slip and slides out of. I'm just saying. Rezko is a convicted fraudster, but before he went down, he was a power broker in Chicago politics, and he engaged in a very suspicious land deal when Obama bought a house in Chicago. Remember he bought that house? The same type of deal as James Biden did in the Caribbean, which was just leaked. Oh my gosh, the leaks are coming. Get a rich guy to come in at the end of a deal and basically cover your cost. Look, no one is saying this is illegal. It's just the way of the swamp. And if the Democrats think running someone like Biden, who has spent 40 years drinking at the government trough, is a good idea, today they are insane. From the Daily Wire. In an exclusive report Tuesday, Politico revealed a previously undisclosed land deal involving Joe Biden's brother that left the left-leaning outlet that the left-leaning outlets presents as furthering a pattern in which members of the Biden family have engaged in financial dealings with people with an interest in influencing the former vice president. Hello, Six. The newly reported deal, which began in 2005, involved Biden's brother James Biden and Scott Green, who was a staffer in the 1980s and 90s for then Senator Joe Biden before becoming a lobbyist, and whose clients, Political underscores, quote, benefited from Biden's support and appropriations request, end quote, both, quote, before and after, end quote, the deal with his brother. Kind of sounds like the Clinton Foundation, doesn't it? Anyway, in 2005, Joe Biden's brother bought an acre of land with excellent ocean views on a remote island in the Caribbean for $150,000. Politico's Ben Schreckinger reports. Quote, he divided it into 3 parcels, and the next year, a lobbyist close to the Delaware senator bought one of the parcels for what had been the cost of the entire property. Oh my gosh, is he tripling his money on this bad boy? And then the next year, a lobbyist close to... Oh, I wrote that. Later, the lobbyist gave Biden's brother a mortgage loan on the remaining parcels. Interesting. The lobbying firm Green co-founded, Schreckinger explains, specializes in federal contracts for niche law enforcement and the national security programs for which Biden long advocated. Oh, isn't that special? It also makes a point of featuring Biden on its website, including a quote from the former senator praising Green's emotional investment in his work. Many details surrounding the deal are unclear, Schreckinger writes, including whether Joe Biden was aware of the transaction at the time. But it is clear that after the Green deal, not the Green New Deal, but this Green deal, continued to lobby on issues over which Biden wielded influence and to meet with Biden's staff, and continued to land government contracts, that didn't make sense, related to federal programs for which Biden advocated. Shocker. But that, they're dirty dealings in politics anyway. But let's see. Oh, here's Joe Biden's comments.
Let's remember one thing. Why the man's on trial. And the second guy is a good running.
Okay, so that's Biden saying, let's remember one thing, Why the man's on trial? Because he's afraid to run against me. Oh my gosh, I just have to laugh. Hello. Oh, was it similar to Epstein's Island? Hey, probably. Except minus the sex slaves and hookers and all that shit. All right. Oh, one more. Another here, and this is what I was just saying. There seems to be as Breitbart describes it, a dam breaking. Established media's zone in on Biden family's culture of corruption. Oh, they're starting to interview Schweitzer, who wrote this book, and actually Schweitzer's book isn't just Biden. It includes Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry. Who else is on the cover of that book? I can't remember, but it's loaded with little corrupt deals. Anyway, with less than 1 week before the Iowa caucuses, the before I even read this though, they're still got the full court press on Bernie Sanders though. I'm just saying they do not want Bernie Sanders to be their nominee, and in fact, okay, hang on. Side note, I'm getting sidetracked here. I don't know if you heard this news yet, but so the DNC is getting ready to have all their primaries, and they're going to have the Democratic National Convention. The DNC, just as of yesterday, they have a person who's in charge of superdelegates for the DNC, and guess who Tom Perez appointed? Now, Tom Perez is no fan of Bernie Sanders, but guess who Tom Perez has put in charge of the superdelegates for the Democratic National Committee as they plan their Democratic National Convention and try to nominate a person for president? Wait for it. I'm just getting my bell ready here. I'm just getting the bell ready. Wait for it. John Podesta. Yes, that John Podesta. John Podesta, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. John Podesta is going to be in charge of the superdelegates for the Democratic National Committee. And and Hillary said something about having the urge to beat Trump the other day. Is the dream scenario that Hillary Clinton jumps in the race? John Podesta's in charge of the superdelegates, the corrupt Democrats who, and I don't say they necessarily stole it from Bernie. I can't say that Bernie Sanders was going to win in 2016, but damn it, there were some states he was going to win. He was going to have a lot more say in what went on with the Democrats because he would have won more states if there were no superdelegates. Bernie Sanders would have been pretty close to that nomination. Now, Hillary still would have won. At least she would have won if you only took what actually happened. But remember, as they were doing this, I keep calling it a full court press, but as they were doing this bullshit where they were, giving Hillary the win in states, you gotta figure as she was winning states, people began to support her because she was winning states ahead of them, right? What if some of those states weren't changed because of the superdelegates in 2016? And let's just make this perfectly clear one more time. I have zero goose egg interest in Bernie Sanders becoming the president of the United States. I hell to the nizzo. Completely hell no. But Bernie if some of those early states that were kind of destroyed for him, had he won them without the superdelegates, do you think it would have been a tighter race? Do you think Bernie could have won the nomination? I still think, I don't know. And some say in 2016 he might have beat Trump. I don't know about all that. But still, they put John Podesta in charge of the superdelegates for the DNC. Oh my God. I'm dumbfounded. All right, let's get back to this article because that was my tangent. Okay. With 1 week left before the Iowa caucuses, the establishment media is zeroing in on former Vice President Joe Biden and the culture of corruption that has permeated his immediate family for decades. On Tuesday, Politico published an in-depth expose on the financial ties between the former vice president's younger brother James and a high-powered Washington, D.C. lobbyist. According to Politico, James and his wife... Okay, this is the Virgin Islands deal. James and his wife purchased an acre of land in the U.S. Virgin Islands for $150,000 in May 2005. A year later, James resold a third of that acre to Scott Green, a national security lobbyist. A lobbyist, huh? Who previously served as a Senate staffer for Joe Biden. Green paid $150,000 for the land, even though the tax assessed value was only $38,000. That point wasn't made in the last article because I already told about this. In effect, James and his wife had gotten their money back while keeping most of the land, recouping their investment in just 12 months, the outlet reported. Why did they have Rachel Maddow on here? Oh, I don't care. Any money that Green may have lost through the deal was offset when Joe Biden became vice president. In 2010, as Politico notes, Green and members of the lobbying firm he founded, the Lafayette Group, were frequent visitors at the Obama-Biden White House. Shocker! Hello, Seamus Derby. That year, Green's ties to the Biden clan seemed to be especially beneficial. On April 11, 2020, the Lafayette Group was awarded 2 taxpayer-funded contracts from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, aka FEMA. The contracts were worth a total of $5.8 million. Were for support services geared toward developing FEMA's communication strategies. Wow, so they were a consultant. A $5.8 million consultant contract with FEMA, and it only cost them $150,000, and they got a little $38,000 piece of land to show for it. Amazing. It remains unclear what involvement Joe Biden had, if any, in awarding of the contract to the Lafayette Group. What is clear, though, is that 3 days after Green's firm received the contracts, he gave James Biden and his wife $133,300 mortgage on their property in the Virgin Islands. Interesting. Politico's expose comes after Breitbart News reported, oh, hello. Thank you, Cryptic, with the $2 super chat. Rachel Maddow disease, you don't say. Rachel Mad Cow disease, you don't say. Thank you, Cryptic, for the $2 super chat. Hey, just a reminder, the voluntary reparations are available through the PDawg.live link. It's in the chat and in the description down below. You know, if you want to, that's up to you. Thank you. Hi, Cryptic, how you doing? Politico's expose comes after Breitbart News reported last week on a series of revelations from Profiles in Corruption, Abuse of Power by America's Progressive Elite. The book, authored by Peter Schweizer, senior contributor to Breitbart News and president of the Government Accountability Institute, offers detailed account of the ways in which members of the Biden family have benefited from their proximity to power. In particular, as Schweizer notes, James Biden may have benefited more than most. In 2010, fresh off a disastrous attempt at running a Wall Street hedge fund, James joined Hillstone International as executive vice president. He had a failed hedge fund, and he became executive vice president at Hillstone. The newly founded company was setting out to pursue construction and technology projects, especially those being funded by the U.S. government in Iraq. Hiring James, who had neither experience in construction nor in international development, seemed to be a big part of the company's strategy to secure such projects. The strategy, as Profiles in Corruption notes, succeeded. 6 months after James was hired, Hillstone received a contract estimated to be worth upwards of $1.5 billion, with a B, $1.5 billion to build more than 100,000 homes in Iraq. As a minority partner of the firm, James would have been eligible to split more than $735 million in profits upon the contract's completion. Other members of the Biden family did just as well. Joe Biden's other brother, Frank, benefited from a $54 million in taxpayer-backed loans to Caribbean nations heavily involved in real estate and solar power projects he was pursuing in the region. The loans to Frank's connected projects came through even though he lacked a background in solar energy or international real estate development. There is a theme going on here. I'm just saying. Similarly, the former vice president's sister, Valerie, received millions in fees during the 2008 election. Valerie, who served as the campaign manager for her brother's failed presidential campaign that year, paid her own consulting firm, Joe Slade White and Company, $2.5 million for services. Schweitzer's book also details the shadowy entities that Hunter Biden, the former vice president's younger son, partnered with, and how at times those investments benefited from government programs run by his father's advisor. So basically, they join companies, get government contracts and or special, incentives, and then something good happens for those companies, and all tied to Joe Biden. It's amazing. I'm not going to read the rest of this. This is another one. Well, there's not much left. That's okay. That one's going in the chat too if you want to read the rest of it. It's just amazing. Now, and again, Breitbart is obviously a partisan news source, but you know what? They're quoting other sources that are, if you don't like Breitbart, they're credible. What are you going to do? That's just amazing. Okay. Finally, let's see if I have time for this one. I do have to get to Twitter trends. Remember we were talking about the New Jersey rally in Wynwood, New Jersey, that they had 175,000 requests for tickets or whatever, and the venue only holds 7,500. So President Donald Trump holds a raucous Tuesday evening rally in Wildwood, New Jersey. This just tells you, this is just what happened that day. But anyway, it was a pretty big rally. They filled that house and had a bunch of people waiting outside, and the Jumbotron was going, and I don't know what all this other stuff is. So there were long lines, and anyway, that's good enough. Let's go into Twitter trends, though. Let's get into some Twitter trends and get the heck out of here because it's about that time. Oh, I did have a couple bookmark things too. First of all, this is just cool because I am a former college cheerleader. If you didn't know that, I was a cheerleader in college, and then I taught camps, and I got to travel around the country, not only teaching camps, but I got a couple of opportunities once I got to go to New York City for the dedication of the Statue of Liberty, and we did a performance in the what's it called, Byrne Arena in the Meadowlands. And I got to meet a lot of famous athletes, but I just thought this was cool. This is kind of going to blow your mind when you see this. Let me do a full screen on this one and just check out. This is a little stunt sequence at a national cheerleading stunt. I got to mute it. Hang on. I got to mute it because I don't need any copyright strike, but check out this little sequence. Pretty amazing stuff, if you ask me. What? They're not done yet. And yes, I used to be able to do this kind of stuff, but not quite at this level. This is probably the most elite stuff I've ever seen. It's amazing what they're going into. And they're not done yet. And one more, one hand. And there you go. That's their finish. Amazing. The amazing skill that takes to do. It just blows me away just seeing that. So anyway, that's some cool things. Also, finally, this was crazy. Check this out. I can't remember who sent this to me. This was an accident with a Tesla and a Nissan GTR. I think it's a GTR, what it's called. Check out the vehicles in this accident. First of all, there's the GTR, but check out what happened to the Teslas. They're looking at this scene. So now they're going way over here. Here's the Tesla. Now look, there's part of the Tesla here, and there's the rear end of the Tesla there. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. The Tesla got cut in half. And apparently, they say that someone was in the... I went through some of the comments on this tweet. And they said the Tesla's supposed to break apart like that. Well, wait a minute. If the Tesla's supposed to break apart of it like that, because the driver of the Tesla did not get hurt at all. The safety systems in the front of the Tesla were okay. But what if you were sitting in the back of this Tesla? Wouldn't you be part of this part that got cut in half? I'm sorry. But say what? So anyway, so here's they're showing the rest of the film of the scene. Anyway, so that was that, and then I'll remember who sent that to me in a minute, and then also, hey Kessler, how you doing? And then this cracked me up. Jennifer Rubin, who is kind of I would say she's supposedly the conservative blogger. Well, she's described as, here's Jennifer Rubin, conservative opinion writer at the Washington Post, MSNBC contributor, rights matter. If right doesn't matter, we are lost. She's supposedly the conservative, right? Well, she decides at the impeachment trial yesterday, she tweets this. Can you imagine if Sekulow and Chippendale had to try a case in front of a real judge? She laughs. And then rightly, people immediately began to point out Jay Sekulow has 12 different cases that he's argued before the Supreme Court of the United States. And he's won 9 of them. So anyway, she basically self-owned and got ratioed to crap. So that was pretty funny. All right, real quick before I go into the rest of Twitter trends, I think I have a couple more thank yous to do. Zip Tie had to remind me that it's Hump Day. Mike. You know what day it is? Do you know what day it is? Hump Day! Yeah, the Hump Day thing ain't gonna happen. And thank you, Becca Farley, and also Arthur for president, and G Prime for retweeting the show out today. If you haven't done so already, hit the share arrow down below and share on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, whatever you do, or you can just retweet me. My Twitter handle is @PDawgNight. Please follow me on Twitter. I do notifications there besides YouTube, because YouTube isn't quite as reliable. So I make sure that I tweet out the show every day, and so do some of my most loyal listeners. So thank you again. Let's get into Twitter trends. Let's check the Explore page. What's at the top? Today at the top of the Explore page. Oh, geez, this Wu flu thing, man. China confirms 132 deaths as coronavirus spreads to multiple countries. And there's like now, I mean, it's spreading. There's like 6,000 cases. The death toll has jumped to at least 132, and almost 6,000 people are now affected by the virus. Cases continue to be discovered in countries around the world, including the US, Canada, Australia, and Germany, anywhere people from China fly, which it's spreading. Chinese authorities reported 132 deaths, almost 6,000 confirmed cases. The virus has spread to at least 13 other countries and regions. Strict biosecurity measures have been put in place in parts of the world. The World Health Organization declined to declare whether coronavirus is an international emergency. Yeah, and it's kind of weird, some of the things going on with the how they're, the supposed hospital they built, and they showed it looks kind of just like an apartment building. I don't know, but it's more widespread than on the mainland there than the notable SARS outbreak of 2002 and 2003. British Airways halts Beijing and Shanghai bookings. And Wuhan is a huge city. I mean, they quarantine the city, but they say that possibly 5 million people have left the city since this started happening. I don't know. And I just don't trust their reporting at all. But anyway, trending number 1. That's interesting. Hashtag Bell Let's Talk. Let's find hobbies and trends. What is Bell? Let's see. Mary Mapleman, who used to be the Beardbarian or something like that. These initiatives always make me smile, but this year I can't help but be filled with spite, knowing that no amounts of funding will change the problem of how specialists are assigned, and I will never gain access to trained therapists. Nonetheless, here's 5 cents. Okay, so this is some Canadian thing. Any of my Canadians know about this? Hello, good morning, Toronto. Today is Bell Let's Talk Day. Please retweet to help support mental health initiatives. 5 cents will be donated for each retweet. Thank you in advance. End the stigma. Mental health matters. It's okay not to be okay. So it's a mental health initiative in good land of Canada. Sorry, Canadians. I just like to say that once in a while. Parker McKay says every retweet of this tweet, Bell will donate 5 cents to mental health initiatives. Okay, so Bell is that the Bell telephone? I don't know. As part of their campaign, reach out and start a conversation with somebody you know. Ask them how they're doing. Let's end the stigma behind mental health together. It's okay to be not okay. So that's trending number 1. Great. That's awesome. That is awesome that people are retweeting this. Hopefully, you hope that it's trending number 1 because everyone in Canada is doing it. So that's great. Interesting. And there's a lot of different things. They got a Robin Williams clip here. How he battled with severe depression. Special armbands. Lots of people tweeting this out. So that's fantastic. I hope they raise a lot of money for mental health services. Trending number 2 is Wednesday Wisdom. And that's our first day, our day trend of the day. So let's just check out some Wednesday wisdom here. Let's see what's at the top. Newsbusters. Does nutty video promoting big gay ice cream? Okay, this was okay. All right, if you haven't seen this, Mike Bloomberg. I don't know what this is all about, and maybe you can help me figure it out. I don't think this is current though. I think somebody. I think somebody else did this. Anyway, here it is. Just when you think today's politics couldn't get any more nuts, liberal billionaire 2020 Democratic candidate Michael Bloomberg decided to promote Big Gay Ice Cream. The company being promoted, Big Gay Ice Cream, has about the same level of cringe as Kellogg's LGBT-themed cereal. Their best-known cone is actually called Salty Pimp. Ew. Ew. What? I don't know. Salty Pimp? You name it on ice cream. Salty Pimp. Salty. Okay, never mind. Anyway, the official campaign Twitter account for the liberal billionaire, owner of Bloomberg News Service, posted a video January 20. Oh, so they did. They posted this video themselves. Here's the video. Now see if you can figure this out. Here it is.
Where's my ice cream? Ah, thank you. Big gay ice cream is the best.
And that's it. That's the, and it was Mike Bloomberg 2020. Big gay ice cream is the best. Where's my ice cream? Big gay ice cream is the best. What the actual F is that? The only good thing about that ad to me is when I scroll down, there's an ad with a nice looking Asian lady here. That's about the only thing I get out of that ad. Moving on. No, that's their Wednesday. So that's Newsbusters Wednesday Wisdom. But here's an actual Wednesday Wisdom. Here you go. This is, oops, I gotta full screen that. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Now that's good Wednesday wisdom. When I look at Wednesday wisdom, that's the kind of Wednesday wisdom I want to see on my screen. Not Michael Bloomberg eating big gay ice cream. Okay, so moving on. There's a bunch of Wednesday wisdom. I gotta move on. I'm way behind. Let's see. Wednesday. Hashtag we want witnesses. Seems like people want witnesses for the Senate trial. There you go. MoveOn.org. 75% of American people want a full and fair trial. Tell Marco Rubio. Hashtag we want witnesses now. We want witnesses. Pass it on. Oh, that's from what's that? My cousin Vinny. Move on. Oh, they're telling Lisa Murkowski. We want witnesses. This is okay. So whatever. Yeah. What? Oh, let's hear. Well, I don't. Trump derangement syndrome case 1,749. Robert De Niro. This is somebody we want for president? I don't think so. Hey, Robert De Niro, you're short. Have you seen the movie The Irishman? I actually watched the movie. I didn't think it was that bad. It was a movie about what's his name? The Jimmy Hoffa, right? And Robert De Niro played this tough guy and whatnot. So when they did that movie, Robert De Niro is like 5'8", and everyone in that movie is like short little things. So while they were filming the movie, they had some backstage photos of just them working on the movie, and Robert De Niro is wearing like these 6-inch like lifted shoes, like it's like the sole of the shoe is just giant, so you can't see his feet in the movie because of the cinematography. But yeah, he's wearing like 6-inch high stilt shoes basically because he's a short little fucker, and they wanted to make him look bigger than he is. It was weird. Anyway, we want witnesses. That's trending. Wednesday thoughts will skip. Wednesday motivation will skip. World War VI is happening though, apparently, because it's trending number 6 or whatever I said there. World War VI. Let's see what's happening. How does World War VI? Oh, here we go. Donald Trump tweeted. And if Donald Trump tweets, it will trend. And apparently, let's see what he's tweeting here. Let's show the thread here. Let's see. From the beginning. For a guy who couldn't get approved for the ambassador to the UN years ago, couldn't get approved for anything since, begged me for a non-Senate approved job, which I gave him despite many saying, "Don't do it, sir." Takes the job, mistakenly says, Libyan model on TV, and many more mistakes of judgment, gets fired because, frankly, if I listened to him, we would be in World War VI by now, and goes out and immediately writes a nasty, untrue book, all classified national security. Who would do this? Okay, he's talking about John Bolton, obviously. I don't think that was the smart thing to do, to bash Bolton, although I don't think... I'm glad, let's just say I'm glad that he didn't spend a lot of time taking advice from Bolton and they clash, because I think Bolton is one of those things. Bolton, I don't have a problem with Bolton other than the fact that he thinks that everything is a nail and the United States is a hammer, and I just don't abide by that strategy. But anyway, so World War VI is trending. And then, okay, now see, this is the other thing. Okay, so why did you actually allow him on your team if you don't have any respect for him? I don't know. But World War VI is trending, and I don't see it here anywhere. even though it says this is the World War VI. Oh, that's because I hit Donald Trump. World War VI hashtag. World War VI has the same energy. Okay, moving on. I believe World War VI begins with the assassination of Archduke Bieber. Trump said World War VI because he's secretly hyped for the Chapter 6 of Battlefield 5. This message is brought to you by EA Game Changers. Oh man, World War VI is happening. I don't know what the hell that is. That's some kind of a deer doing a dance. That's weird. Just woke up and World War VI is trending. I just passed World War III, World War IV, World War V, World War V. How long was I asleep? Well, you are Rip Van Winkle. Just a reminder. World War VI, Trump angry tweets his ex-national security advisor as John Bolton looms over Senate impeachment trial. All right, so anyway, that's why, of course, Trump tweets it. It shall trend. Remember Republicans is trending because someone say, oh, remember Republicans, the Democrat already had 17 witnesses. We were given none. Witnesses were up to the House, not up to the Senate. Don't let the Dems play you. The immediately following one is, remember Republicans, Trump regime will end, and we won't forget you defended a traitor. Oh, a traitor now. Well, you know, whatever. I'm sorry. Remember Republicans, many Republican witnesses were asked to testify in the House, and Trump blocked them all. Well, it's the House's responsibility to do something about that. Maybe perhaps take the Trump administration to court like normal procedure, and then maybe they would have the witnesses that you want instead of the ones you're begging the Senate to have. But apparently some of the people in the Senate are going to capitulate, and you'll have your witnesses, but I think you're going to get a little more than you were expecting. So there you go. Anyway, that's why Remember Republicans is trending. Oh, Coach K is trending. Uh-oh. Now, if you don't know who Coach K is, he's the coach at Duke University, one of the winningest coaches in college basketball, and apparently he gets heated towards the Cameron Crazies. Apparently got mad at his own fans. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Cameron Crazies calling their dads after Coach K went in on him. I'd like to sue someone, please. Let's see what happened here. So let's see. After Cameron Crazies started yelling, Jeff Capel sit with us. Coach K could be seen yelling, shut up, and he's one of us. Capel played at Duke and coached there for 7 seasons. Oh, okay. So apparently, so something happened. He was playing a team that's coached by one of his former assistants. And here, let's see if we can see this here.
Across the court as time expired on the first half. Crazies chanting at the pit bench, and then Coach K.
Okay, for some reason that's stuck. Hang on. So Capel is the coach at the University of Pittsburgh. Used to play at Duke, and the Cameron Crazies were yelling at him, and apparently Coach K is great friends with Coach Capel, and so he got mad at the Crazies for yelling at one of their own, former Dookie, Coach Capel. He's heated though, man. Look at him. He is mad.
An interesting moment, an unusual eruption of anger from Mike Krzyzewski. You see the Cameron Crazies chanting at the pit bench, and then Coach K yelling, shut up, shut up. And he walked across the court as time expired on the first half to tell them they were chanting toward Jeff Capel, he's one of us.
Capel.
He's one of us. Now, from what we can discern from
students look kind of like, oh shit, what did we do? All right, that explains it. Okay, so that's why Coach K is trending. Moving on, Chris Bryant, former National League MVP, Chris Bryant loses grievance with the Cubs. Okay, I don't even know what that's about. I'm gonna move on. Joe Manchin is trending. Senator Markey reacts to fellow Democrat Joe Manchin calling Hunter Biden a relevant witness. Oh damn! Oh, damn. We got a Democrat saying that Hunter Biden's a relevant witness. Senate Dem takes aim at Manchin's impeachment comments. Hunter Biden is not on trial. That's a different Senate Dem. Let's see here. Ed Markey reacts to fellow Democrat Joe Manchin calling Hunter Biden a relevant witness. Hunter Biden is not on trial. Joe Biden is not on trial. Donald Trump is on trial. Hunter Biden doesn't have any relevant information about anything Donald Trump was doing. Now this is, here's...
Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who really has not tipped his hat one way or the other on where he's going here, just said that he thinks Hunter Biden is a relevant witness. I want you to listen to this exchange.
Is Hunter Biden a relevant witness, Senator?
I think so. I really do. I don't have a problem there because this is why we are where we are. Now, I think that he can clear himself.
Would you vote to call Hunter Biden as a witness?
If the judge or whoever rules that it's pertinent, absolutely.
Is he right, Senator?
I disagree. Hunter Biden is not on trial. Joe Biden is not on trial. Donald Trump is on trial. Hunter Biden doesn't have any relevant, and that's the key word, relevant information about anything that Donald Trump was doing to extort an investigation of the Biden
now it's
family.
Extort. See, now look, that senator just played his hand. He just played his hand. He's already saying that Donald Trump extorted the president of Ukraine. Oh my God.
In return for $391 million worth of American taxpayer national security aid for the Ukraine. So from my perspective, there is no relevance whatsoever. And it's just another red herring that Donald Trump and his legal team is trying to put out there. But again,
okay, so whatever. Anyway, so that is why Joe Manchin is trending. Everyone's mad at Joe Manchin. Jonathan Swan, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, says he believes Hunter Biden is a relevant impeachment witness. All right, so lots of people talking about that. Moving on real quick. Chris Dolman, Hall of Fame. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hall of Famer Chris Dolman has died at age 58. We knew he was in bad health. Just a side note, his brother coaches with me at the high school I coached at. His brother's a great basketball player. He played college, played for Harlem Globetrotters. Now he's a coach at the same high school I coach with. Oh, man. He's a Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings. Tough week, another loss. Lost another great. Chris Dolman, he was there for me and my family when my dad was going through his tough times. I appreciate his love and the way he helped us. Just unreal. I'll never question his plan. Just know that we all miss you, Chris. Chris has been ill for quite a while. Wow. I'm going to have to get a hold of my fellow coach, my co-coach here. Here's a CNN article. Let's see. Hall of Famer defensive end Chris Dolman died Tuesday night. A 2-year battle with cancer. He was 58 years old. Chris Dolman, number 56 of the Minnesota Vikings, looks on during an NFL game in 1992. Dolman played for the Vikings 1985 to 93 and in 1999. Played 10 seasons in the NFL. Chris was a great example of players past and present as he embodied all the best characteristics of a Viking: resilience, toughness, and a competitive spirit, the team said. Chris always carried himself with dignity and class. Vikings fans worldwide will greatly miss him. Yeah, he was a great guy. He did a lot of stuff for here around the Twin Cities. Dolman had been battling glioblastoma ever since he underwent surgery to remove a brain tumor in January 2018. The NFL said glioblastoma is a type of cancer that occurs in the brain or spinal cord, according to the Mayo Clinic. It's the same cancer that killed the late Senator John McCain, Joe Biden's son Beau, and Senator Andrew Kennedy. Dolman told NBC Sports he cried like a baby when he was diagnosed. When a doctor tells you that you have brain cancer, it changes your whole world, Dolman said. Those are the scariest words you'll ever hear in your life. When I first heard it, I was so devastated that I couldn't get any words out of my mouth. How many people do you know who survived brain cancer? And he was determined to fight it. Yeah, he was just an amazing football player. Also a great man, great guy around the Twin Cities. And he's definitely going to be missed by Viking fans. And yeah, I'm going to have to, like I said, I work with his brother, and I know that his brother's going to be devastated. Although his brother said that they've known for a long time that he's been deteriorating, and it was just a matter of time. So Oh man, that's so sad. Okay, I gotta move on here. Moving theme, Australian Open theme, and Rafael Nadal lost in the Australian Open, lost to somebody named Theme. What's his name? And they don't even have his first name on here. But anyway, this Domi Theme. I don't know where he's from, but Nadal is only second behind Roger Federer in all Grand Slam tennis wins. So that's a pretty big accomplishment, especially the fact that Nadal is still a really high level player. So Lee Enterprises. Lee Enterprises make a $140 million deal to buy Berkshire newspapers. That's Berkshire Hathaway's media group publications. Okay, whatever. Remember America is trending because with a position like yours, okay, this is Donald Trump Jr. Remember America, these people truly hate you. And so everyone's gonna probably, okay, there's all kinds of Remember America's on here. It's trending. Okay. Anyway, Donald Trump Jr., who, with a position like yours, boldly says this. Remember, America, the tweets attempting to further divide the country. Well, everyone's dividing the country right now, so who gives a shit? Anyone says that your side's trying to divide the country, give me a fucking break, okay? If you're in politics right now, you are trying to divide the country because you want them on your side. And so that's just a stupid statement, whether a Republican says it or a Democrat says it. You don't think the people who hate Trump are trying to divide the country? Shut the hell up. Remember, America, if Hunter and Joe Biden are getting looked at for all of their charisma stuff, keep in mind that Ivanka and Don Jr. were both appointed by Daddy to positions they aren't qualified to be in either. Talk about a double standard. Well, guess what? Seems like Ivanka and what's her husband's name? Whatever, Kushner. Seems they did a lot of great work on prison reform that got passed. So they must be able to do something. Okay, whatever. And Don Jr.'s not even a part of the administration. I don't think he has any part. He's running the company while Dad's the president. So whatever. Anyway, that's moving on. I'm going to skip this. Highsmith is trending. I'm sorry, I'm a little distraught about Chris Dolman passing away. So if my tone has changed, please excuse me. Cleveland Browns and Vice President of Player Personnel Alonzo Highsmith have agreed to mutually part ways. We do have... this was going to be a Twitter thought, but instead there's a commercial. The Varum Pet fitness robot, instead of a Twitter thought, they used it for a commercial. That's pretty ingenious. It's not a Twitter thought, but a Twitter pet. And this is some kind of Varum Pet fitness robot. So this robot runs around your house and the pet chases it around. Isn't that cute? All right, there you go. I thought for sure I'd have a Twitter thought at some point here, but there are no Twitter thoughts to be found. We're moving on, and I got to be done. So Heidi, don't care, and Artem. Okay, Heidi, what is Heidi? Our friend of Slain, a friend of Slain Austin mother, Heidi Broussard, who went missing in December and was later found dead, has been charged with capital murder and kidnapping. Okay. I don't know if that's the... and then there's... Okay, is it for... Okay, the real reason Heidi's trending is because the Heidi NBC presses Representative Zeldin to Stefanik and Johnson during a tense exchange about her tough questioning style on a question about corruption in Ukraine as it relates to the Senate impeachment trial. Okay, so people are... some people are hailing her as a great journalist, and some people are telling her she's a hoe. Anyway, and then finally, Artem, whatever this is... Nicki Bella split 10 years with John Cena, who never wanted a marriage or children with her, so she ended it and started dating Artem, and within 2 years she got a ring and is now supposedly pregnant. Talk about knowing what you want and deserve and getting it. Isn't she one of the twins? The Bella twins, whatever. That's okay, so she's pregnant. Good for her. All right, that's it, folks. That's it for the Morning Night Live. I gotta call it a day, but hey, you know what, y'all? Thank you so much for being here. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT. And it's always a lot of fun to have you here. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the way out. That's that little thumbs up down there somewhere. And also hit the share button. Share this out. If you're watching after the fact, please leave a comment in the comment section so that I know that you were here. And you can always make donations to the old. You can do voluntary reparations for PDawg Night at the Streamlabs link in the description down below. It also shows up in the chat periodically. One last note, I just want you to, with some things happening, we lost Kobe Bryant, and I'm now with Chris Dolman. Hug a family member today. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while. Call a family member you haven't talked to in a while. Find ways to make amends with the people that you love or have loved in the past. And just remember, life is short, and that you never know when you're not going to have a chance to do that again. That's my last thought of the day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you immensely. My name is PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.